Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Low Budget Review Show. I am your host, Eric Smith, and today I am talking about Captain America, the Great Gold Steel by somebody, Ted White, with an introduction by Stan Lee. This is a retro review, obviously. Look at this thing. I announced these books at the beginning of this video like you don't know what it is just by reading the title of the video or the description. But you know what? That's the way it goes. Showmanship. The Great Gold Steel, Captain America. And this is a Bantam book from 1968. And so it's basically you got some bad guys that are stealing gold. And Captain America's got to stop them. I mean, that's your nutshell right there. So, right off the bat, this thing is written like a classic pulp. Could have been written 30 years before it actually was. It has that feel to it. The entire time I was reading it, I felt like I was reading a Doc Savage novel. It starts with a mysterious bad guy doing mysterious things, just like a ton of Doc Savage novels, or pulps in general, start with, we get that tease. What's going on? Who are these bad guys? Before we're introduced to our hero. This guy, we don't know what he's doing, but there's a lot of talk about finances and gold. And then some other mysterious stuff happens, and then Captain America finally shows up. And this is obviously early Marvel Captain America, 1968. He's living in Avengers Mansion. The world believes Steve Rogers is dead, so nobody knows that he's Steve Rogers. Nobody knows that Steve Rogers exists. And so he gets pulled into this adventure and has to figure out what's going on, fight these bad guys. And I'll tell you right now, I gave this 2 out of 5 on Goodreads, which, according to their scale, means it was okay. And that's where I'm at, obviously, since that's what I gave it. As I said, I kept thinking of Doc Savage while I was reading it, and this very easily could have just been a Doc Savage novel. There's actually a Doc Savage Easter egg in the book. But there's no real reason that this had to be Captain America. It could have been essentially any pulp hero. And simply because of the physicality, Doc Savage is what comes to mind. It is interesting to me. There, as I said, we get that kind of cold open with the bad guys. And then we're introduced to Captain America. And then we've got a few chapters that give us his origin story and essentially what's been going on with him. They change his origin in this. They add some stuff to it, and they give him some weird powers or abilities, which is interesting. Might be the most interesting thing here, just to see what was done with the character. I'm trying to decide if I should tell you what they are, because it's going to be a hard book to find if you're interested in it. So I guess we could talk about it in the comments if you're really that interested and don't want to try to find a copy of this book. So, that was interesting that they changed his origin a bit. I do like that, as in comic books, there are footnotes. There will be a little asterisk, so it says something about, when the Avengers found him frozen in ice, and then there's a little asterisk, and down at the bottom it says, see Avengers number 3 for more details. And then when it talks about the new Avengers with Captain America, Hawkeye, Quicksilver, and Scarlet Witch, little asterisk, see Avengers number 16 for the full story, that kind of thing, which is always nice in comic books. And I just thought it was interesting that they had that in here as well. It happens 3 or 4 or 5 times. Um, other than that, as I said, it's very pulpy. Could have been written 30 years prior to when it actually was written, 40 years even. Could have been Doc Savage just as easily as it was Captain America. I dig that cover. It's a little plain, just Cap standing there, but it's, again, old-fashioned. I like that look. So, yeah, there's really not much to say. There's not too much of a story here. We have these bad guys. Their code names are all bird names. There's Raven, Eagle, Starling. I think there's Robin, not the Batman character. And they're stealing the gold reserves. And Cap has to stop them. It moves pretty quickly, I guess. Well, that's not completely true. What little plot there is moves along. Cap is pretty quick in figuring things out and such. The writing itself, very pulpy, has that sort of amp up the word count to make more money. There are so many descriptions of neighborhoods and streets in New York, which is, a pulp kind of thing. Although, not that modern day authors don't do it either, but it, again, very much has that feel. So, like I said, 2 out of 5. It's okay. I don't regret reading it. I'm glad I have it. There's actually an Avengers novel that came out the year before this that I read and have. But it's a cool thing to have. It's a cool thing to have read, in my opinion. I'm not getting rid of this. Part of my collection. But not the greatest. There are better Captain America books. There are better superhero novels. So I will try to have a link in the description, or in the description, for where you might find it. I can't remember if I got this from eBay or Amazon. It wasn't that expensive. So I'll find some sort of link if you're interested. I'm not saying don't read it. I'm just saying it's not the greatest read, and it could be anybody. Relatively speaking. Wouldn't make sense if it was Spider-Man. Could be any pulp hero, basically. Yeah, that's it. I don't know what else to say about it. If you're a Captain America fan, it's something cool to have and read, but it's definitely different. Yeah, very, very. It is cool. Jarvis is in it, which is cool. For those of you who only know the MCU movies, Jarvis in the comics is an actual butler at the Avengers Mansion, not just an AI. So that was fun. And there is mention of lots of different characters. And there's a twist at the end. I'm not even sure it's a twist. It's just a thing at the end. All right, so there you go. Do I have a question for this video? Not one that I can think of, because there's really not much to this. Well, let's see. I don't know. I guess I could ask if you like retro reviews. Are you interested in seeing things like this? I suppose. There is a question I could ask, but I asked it in the video that I just recorded, which was my Reading Remembrances video from May of 1990. But, so I mean, technically I can ask it again. I don't know that everybody that watches those watches these or vice versa. But I don't feel like asking it a second time, although it'll probably come up again someday. So, how do you feel about retro reviews? Are you interested in seeing things like this? Things like my previous Logan's World video? I have tons of pulps and things. stuff that's out of print, stuff that's harder to find. Are you interested as an audience in hearing about these things? And sometimes it's fun to try and dig them up, try and find them. I know every time I go to Half Price Books, first thing I do is hit that spinner rack that's got all the old stuff on it to see if there's any Doc Savage or Shadow novels that I don't have yet. So there's your question. Do you care about retro reviews? Yeah, so that's it. If you have any comments, questions, corrections, please put them in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post a spoiler warning. We try to be polite here at the Low Budget Review Show. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you'd care to follow me on other social media, my Twitter is @Ronin5757. My Instagram, where I post pictures of books, comics, board games, and fuzzy animals, is ErikSmith5757. That's Eric with a K, ERIKSMITH 5757. That's it. This has been the Low Budget Review Show. I have been Eric Smith, and until next time, read more books.